Hello, and welcome to the holiday installment of our video presentation showing some new pots which will shortly be available for the Showplace in New York. These are very personal items. They're very special. They've not been seen previously, and I'm quite excited about them. And I wanted to give them the attention that I felt that they deserved because I think they're some of the better ones I've had out in quite a while. I'm rather proud of them, and I'm going to blow my own horn just a little bit. I wanted to express a little bit, as I try to do on the website and print, but I don't expect everybody to be reading through all of my little written diatribes, what it is I'm doing and why it is I'm doing it. This pottery is a very technically involved process, especially when you do it as I do, but I want to reiterate the fact that my pots, as I make them, are absolutely, truly, and incontrovertibly one of a kind. I don't make multiples or additions of my pottery. There are no other additions. They were conceived as paintings or sculpture they're very proud to be pottery, and I'm very proud to be a potter, but they are completely individuated. We're now up to something over the work of more than a decade, perhaps 1,500 extant pots, which is perhaps 150 roughly a year, which is a very small output. And each one, to the best of my ability, has been the finest that I have known how to make. I am very proud of instituting new ideas and craftsmanship and new technology and new chemicals as they become available to me. But I'm very rooted in tradition, and I give my whole body, soul, time, treasure, and energy to doing what we do and to doing it as well as I can. Please understand that there is no such thing as a second quality Katrich pot entering the market. I certainly make defective pots. Things come out of the kiln, they blow up, they spindle, they fold, and they mutilate, but they don't ever get out for sale. Anything that I don't think is up to snuff is destroyed, and it's never going to surface again in the future. So what you've got is the very best that I have to offer, and I hope that you enjoy these as much as I do, because I go through quite a lot to get them to you. Now, the first pot that I've got, in fact, all three of these are titled pieces, which is what I tend to do when I consider work to have special merit or particularly interesting ethos about them. This piece is called The Storm is Lifted. The title is a little bit lifted, actually, too, or at least it was inspired by the musical offerings of Kurt Weill, the composer. Who there's a tune in the city in the Fall of the City of Mahogany, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, that has that line in it, and I thought it was very beautiful. This is a very dramatic, very special, and very spectacular pot. It ranges from it's sort of a fantastical landscape with sunset coming upon it. And a storm has happened, the rain's fallen, and these molten storm clouds are lifting off the surface and coming away, and the last rays of the sun are shining through. It starts with a very deep sort of lapis blue with gold matte overlay, echoing down to a purple, a dark red, a lighter red, into the last ray, the last sort of blue of sky as night's coming upon, and then down to an emerald green grass. It's a very, very nice piece. It really does look what it purports to do. It's drama and power, and it's very successfully fired. I'm very pleased with this pot. Now this next piece, also very personal. I've been taking good advantage this year of the myriad of beautiful parks that Michigan has to offer. They're all over the area nearby me, and with a friend, I've been going out, we've been taking photographs. I've probably been to 20 odd different parks over the course of the last few months, because each one of them has something new to offer, and the foliage is beautiful. And where I'm living now, we've moved in the last year. I've never really sort of been out in the midst of them, and I just find new things to see all the time. And it's what we call a cheap date. It's a great place to go out and have fun and experience something wholesome, beautiful, and fully, completely Michigan. We, in the throes of this, I've been looking at autumn trees, we've been photographing items, and I'm impressed by the last, we've had a very mild autumn this year, and the leaves have been on the trees much longer than they would normally be, and there was, in going well into November, there were still beautiful orange leaves clinging to the last trees for the season. And this piece is inspired by the many walks that I've been making through these parks. There are all the colors that one would expect to see in a Michigan autumn. The dappled orange and yellow and red, still hanging to the trees. There's a touches of volcanic golden glaze, and then there's a suggestion of branches in an iridescent golden matte, where all it's being touched with gold here and about. It's somewhat abstract, but it captures to me with great verity the actual things that I witnessed on my walks. And I think that one may find it is really going to hold a very elusive season, solid and permanent in ceramic. Fall is generally, it is the most delightful season in Michigan. It's the time when the weather's the best. The sky is cool, crisp, and clear. The air is dry. The temperature is moderate. It's not humid. It's a nice time to be in Michigan. It's the time of year when you allow the state to apologize to you for the rest of what it's done to you weather-wise, and you start to really enjoy it. Now, the final pot for our holiday installment, taking us from something as close by as a park to something as far away as a distant galaxy. This piece is entitled Cosmic Furnace. Oh, by the way, this other one, I'd appended the title Early November, which I thought best captured what it appeared to be to me. This is just a powerful little burning ember of a pot. It has the most beautiful, bright, flame-rich coal. It's like a live coal burning in my hands of orange. Sort of burning gases sort of at the extremes of nebulae. It's no mystery to anybody that's been following my pottery that I claim no special expertise in astronomy, but I'm absolutely fascinated by it. And we are blessed to be living in a time when we have things like the Hubble telescope, although sadly it's not going to be in service for much longer if it hasn't already been put down. But the images that are available to us that wouldn't have been 20 years ago continue to astound and amaze, and you're going to be seeing more of that coming by pottery. This is not a copy of any specific image that I've seen lifted from one of the space telescopes, but it's trying to convey the idea. And space and stars and things, these are universal. We all look up at the sky, but knowing that there's something way distant out there beyond our reach, from which all of these things may be derived, is important. And it's wonderful and sort of a little charmingly subversive to be able to shrink it all down into something that you can fit in the palm of your hand. And maybe there's an entire world here, or maybe it's out there someplace else, but I like this pot an awful lot. Notice also that it has this beautiful midnight blue, other elements of the sky. There's lemon saffron yellow. The glazes are fundamentally a silken matte. And all over there's a webbing of this sort of golden volcanic flotsam with blue echoes behind it, showing what I would see as a creative force. This pot, by the way, I thought enough of that it's the holiday card for the business this year, so it's something that is very dear to my heart. As I try to make sure that all of my pots are, at least once they've arrived to finish. I mean, there are a lot of sad shards on the floor of pots that were too ambitious and didn't quite make it. This one did. And if you want an example of Katrich, I don't think you can find another one better of the size and quality for the price and for what it will offer you in the future. Well, it's just these three, but there are three that needed that kind of special attention, so I'm going to conclude today. I hope that you and yours have a wonderful holiday season, as we'll be thinking of you. My patrons are essential to the survival and welfare of us and our business, and I appreciate you out there wherever you are, and I hope that you'll come and visit us often, and I hope that you'll be seeing you at one of the shows in the not-too-distant future. Thank you.